And he comes to the surface and is seen bestrides the nation. And there's a wonderful sense of movement and colour and vitality from this Technicolor film. And it serves both as a recruitment film and a piece of general propaganda for the coal industry in Britain.
King Coal allowed the National Coal Board to speak directly to the public, reminding them of the key role played by coal in the life of Britain. In fact, the NCB was so buoyant about the future that it was happy for miners to use its film unit to air work-related issues, such as the argument for a 5-day week.
Can we afford it?
Well, I'm all in favour of the 5-day week. We shall benefit through it physically. We're having a long weekend rest. We may lose in production, but eventually we shall recover it.
Well, I'm for it, Arthur, but I definitely know this. To ensure 5 full production days, we still need an extra day. And we shall need volunteers to do this. Get the double pay for the extra day, same as they get it on Sundays now.
I don't think so, Harold. Production is bound to drop. Granted, the 5-day week must come to the pits, because they have already got it in other industries. The only way...
As was typical in the Mining Review series, the film ends on a sing-song.
The better the pipe, hellfire, son of a gun, stand by, don't push, plenty of room for you and me. It's not an arm, just like a leg, a lady's leg.
Along with the debate about the 5-day week, the early mining reviews highlighted improvements in the health and welfare of miners and their families. From the creation of new homes...
This is a great day for the Wilkes family. They're moving in. Instead of one room for all purposes, they have a sitting room, dining room, kitchen, and 3 bedrooms.
To the development of health centres.
Every day of the week, the health centre is full. The doctor's wife, herself a radiographer, has the job of x-raying each miner every 6 months.
And improved access to higher education.
This year, dozens of young miners from all over the country went back to school. They had won university scholarships given by the National Coal Board for training new mining engineers and administrators.
In May 1949, the film unit was sent to record the visit of the big American singing star Paul Robeson to a mine in Scotland.
Paul Robeson was intending to go to an Edinburgh colliery and to sing to the miners in the canteen. And we turned up, we filmed him, I think, that afternoon, talking to the miners, walking about. And then we filmed the singing in the evening. And he sang, I thought I saw Joe Hill last night, which is an American song.
Joe Hill was a legendary American trade union activist before the First World War.
I never died, says he. I never died, says he. In Salt Lake City, Joe says I am standing by my bed. They framed...
Paul Robeson was very popular at this time amongst mining communities in particular, partly as a result of the feature film in which he starred, A Proud Valley, from 1940, in which he played an heroic and self-sacrificing miner in South Wales. He had strong sympathies for the underdog, and this earned him great respect amongst working-class communities. To the miners, it must have been quite something in their everyday canteen to be visited by someone who was a huge celebrity then, and for him to sing there such a song must have been both moving and thrilling.
Went on to organize. I dreamed I saw Joe Hill last night, alive as you and me. Says I, but Joe, you're 10 years dead. I never died, says he. I never died, says he. I never died, says
Into the 1950s, increased mechanisation led to greater productivity.
Here at Queen, 31 men have been averaging over 230 tons a shift, with a bigger output possible if they could get it away quickly enough. That's pretty good going. And the coal's not all small stuff either.
Things were looking rosy for both the industry and the miners and their families. There's a real glow to the mining review films of this period. Most of what miners did in their spare time focused around the local welfare or social centre, which offered a range of sports, leisure and educational activities, funded by the miners themselves.
The centre cost some £120,000 to build. It was provided by the Coal Industry Social Welfare Organisation, and the miners and their families from Bilston Glen and other surrounding collieries make full use of it.
And at the time, every miner paid a 1 penny levy to the Coal Industry Social Welfare Organisation. And they organised most of the welfare things that were going on. First of all, they supported outdoor facilities as well as indoor facilities.
Young Abe is a busy man. Not only has he this swimming bath plant to look after, but he also has to make sure that nothing goes wrong with the tea-making apparatus. For that's what keeps the ladies happy while the men enjoy themselves.
And within them welfare institutes, you had libraries. And in them libraries, there was books of all sorts where people educated themselves. What a beautiful room this is. Right? It's bought and paid for by the people of this community here. Paid it out of their wages.
This cooperative spirit was frequently captured in Mining Review.
All of the films articulate that sense that you don't live your life alone and you live it with other people and for other people.
Lee Hall is fascinated by the social dynamics of the old mining communities. He's come to the British Film Institute to explore documents relating to the Coal Board's film unit, which, like the films themselves, have been archived here for 30 years.
So, the rolling miner. I have no idea what this could be. 13th year.
It was only after writing Billy Elliot, with its story of a miner's son who wants to be a ballet dancer, that Lee came across evidence mining and ballet had mixed before.
This is brilliant. Obviously, I'd written Billy Elliot as a kind of fantasy. And then, when I was working with the archive here, they showed me this amazing film of these stocky miners who call themselves the Balletamains. There's all these shots of them down the mine, and there's Jim Turner, the fireman.
Fireman Jim Turner, underground worker Jack Fish, Colin Plant, clerk, and storekeeper Israel Downton.
And they're all working underground, and then they come up and they did this mad sort of ballet dance.
And here come the boys. I beg your pardon, I mean boys.
They dance Capelia for the delectation of the village, and it's just absolutely hilarious and charming.
Typically, in mining villages, entertainment was a communal activity, something participated in with neighbours and friends. The biggest communal event in the miners' calendar was the Gala Day, or Miners' Picnic, and music was always central to these events.
The Miners' Picnic in Northumberland was a huge family celebration. Families came from all over the Northumberland coalfield to get together for a big party day. Every pit would have its own brass band, or they would have borrowed one if they didn't have their own for the day. So there would be a wonderful atmosphere.
Competition was important at these gatherings. The local colliery bands would all compete for the title of Best Brass Band.
The adjudicator, Mr. Oliver Howarth of Manchester, is locked in a room and no one must have contact with him. When he has the band playing, he doesn't know which one it is. He can't see it.
Hello, Mr. Mood. Next band, please.
Right, Mr. Howarth. The adjudicator is now ready.
Every miner had sixpence deducted from his wages by the miners' union to pay for the brass band, and there were 165,000 men in the Great Northern Coalfield in 300 pits in the 1950s. And if you think of 165,000 sixpences every week, you can see why it supported 150 bands. It gave children a great opportunity to learn music, and it was a source of pride in every family that they had somebody playing in a brass band. It was a great educational thing, as well as being something that cemented the community together and gave them a sense of pride in having a band that was able to win competitions or simply just appear at the gala.
After the contest, in the afternoon, all of the bands marched down to the picnic field.
Brass bands themselves are kind of seen as a sentimental thing, I think, largely because of the Hovis advert. But there's something quite powerful and Wagnerian about the swell of this big load of brass coming up. And the way a Yorkshire brass band plays, and I know this because we've been looking into kind of brass sounds, completely different from a New Orleans trumpet will flare and blare, whereas a Yorkshire one kind of does this Wagnerian swell. So there's something majestic about it. It's not just whimsy and nostalgia. There's something quite powerful about it.
What seems most significant, it was a band. It wasn't about individual virtuosity. It was about coming together and each playing your part, and you create this glorious sound.
Before the end of the day, the judges had another winner to appoint. Who was the prettiest girl?
The mining industry encouraged its pretty young ladies to come forward and represent the collieries and the coalfield communities. And we developed coal queens. And over the years, it became more than just a little local event. It actually became a national competition. And I had the privilege in 1982 representing Northumberland. And that was huge fun. Some of the prizes were more than a week's wage, so it was a big deal to win these things.
But one musical tradition was on the wane. The mining folk ballads.
Upon my arm, you still may learn to say that after canny. I wish your daddy maybe will, he's long a coming frae the keel, though his black fist he likes a deal, I like a kiss frae Johnny.
In the mid-50s, Mining Review became part of an initiative to revive and record this dying folk tradition.